I was asked how to tell people that you have avoidant personality disorder, and I actually started to make a video, and it got to be really humongously long, and I went, I guess I'll split this in two. So I'll make two videos about it. This first one is about how to tell people you have a professional relationship that you have avoidant personality disorder. First of all, if it's somebody that you're paying, like a doctor or a therapist, then my suggestion is just, you've got the diagnosis, tell them right off the bat. And the reason for that is that you will have some awkward moments where X, Y, and Z is happening, and you're acting in a way that you think is kind of strange, and you just get it out of the way. Because if, and then if they have questions, what is that? Just tell them to look it up. I mean, it's their job, and they should be able to do that. So that's my recommendation. If you're paying somebody, do that. If it's a situation where it's not like a super professional like that, like, I don't know. Okay, well, let me go to work first. Work situations. If you're working with somebody, so you are being paid to be with them, I don't think you have to tell them at all. There is no disclosure necessary at work. None. If, people are interested in having, I mean, first of all, you really can choose a job that you want to have. So if you've got a job that's an environment where people are very social and where they're sort of buddy-buddy at the job place, get a new job. And I know that's not easy, but seriously, if there is a pressure to be social within like a coworker situation, sometimes salespeople have that sort of situation. Like, seriously, get a new job. Don't put yourself through that. I mean, it might be okay for you, and that's fine. And you might be able to sort of keep it together for a few hours a day, and that's fine. It could also be that it's going to suck all of your sort of capability of being social out of you, and you won't have time for anybody else in your life, in which case, is it really worth it? But generally, like, once upon a time, I used to work in a cubicle, and they had like the lunchroom where people go for lunch, and I would always have some reason to go anywhere else. I would definitely always have some reason to go. I would have errands to run. I would go out to get lunch at a different place, you name it, not to go there. Every once in a while, if it's like pouring rain, we're talking like 2 or 3 times a year, I would go to the lunchroom and eat there, and everybody was like, initially, "Oh, you're here. You're never here." They would make some comment like that. And then they would get over it. And then, they'd want to hear a story. Well, you know what? If it's been 4, 5, 6 months since I talked to these people, yeah, there's going to be something that happened in that period that I could tell them about. It didn't need to happen just the day before. Yeah, so, and the other thing that you've got to remember, avoidant people sort of feel guilty for not having a life, for going home, eating dinner, watching TV, going on the internet, doing some cleaning and going to bed. But 99% of the time, that's what everybody does. The difference is that they're like, okay, yeah, this is cool, I'm doing this, and avoidant people get really guilty about it, that there's something wrong with that. And they don't realize it's actually normal. So, you could, if somebody asks you, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, yeah, I had a lot of errands to run. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's cool. They're not going to freak out that you weren't having a party every weekend, because nobody's having a party every weekend. I mean, if you did have a party, then you could tell them, hey, I had to go to this wedding, or I had to do something, and then you could tell them a quick, you don't need to tell them everything, just a little quick something. So you might get a reputation for being quiet and reticent, and that is fine. Unless you actually legitimately have panic attacks around people, in which case, maybe don't work at all. yeah, you can pass fine. You don't need to tell anybody that you're avoiding. If you've got somebody that you have hired that is sort of like on a more personal level, like, I don't know, housekeeper or a babysitter or something like that, these people, again, you can just sort of be quirky. And you got to remember these people, you might think, oh, well, we want to be friends and want to talk, but they have a life and they don't necessarily want to waste their time talking to the boss. So that's my recommendation for telling people that you have a less than personal relationship with. I mean, you go to a cashier in a store, if you're a little awkward or whatever, they're just going to think you got something on their mind. They don't care. They've got 50 other people coming right behind you. It's not going to impact them at all that you're a little off. They'll just be like, okay, whatever. They have seen it all, and they are not going to care. So give yourself a break, in a nutshell, about these types of things. If it's a professional that you have hired for yourself, tell them. If it's somebody that you're working with, there is no need to tell. Even if you become really good friends with somebody, I personally would not disclose at work with even a friend who works in the same place that you have this, because people slip, and they're not supposed to discriminate, but they could, so just avoid that. And that's how I would approach these people. So it's either completely straightforward, I have this, you don't know what it is, look it up, or don't talk about it at all. And that's how I would approach the non-personal relationships in your life.